Hi everyone, I've reached the end of my first day at Learning Solutions and I am physically, well, I'm very exhausted. Mentally, I'm pretty excited because I saw some really cool stuff today, which I thought I'd take a few minutes to tell you about. So first I started off my day with the keynote, which was Return on Imagination by Tom Wujek. And he talked about some themes that are very similar to the keynote from Technology that I saw earlier this year. This idea that technology is changing at this exponential rate. And this doesn't just change our technology, it changes the whole world around us. It means things are rapidly changing and changing in ways we can't always predict. So how does this affect training and learning development? Well, we have to be able to prepare people for that world. And so one of the things that Wujek recommends is fostering creativity, and I completely agree. If we can teach people to be creative thinkers and critical thinkers and more flexible, we're preparing them to have the skills they'll need to succeed in this environment. So next up, I went to a panel session. This was Bridging the Gender Gap. And this was a panel that was really important for me to go to. I feel very strongly that it's important that we look at women in technology and why we're having some gaps in that in between, the idea of less women entering the field and also less women choosing to stay in the field after they've entered. And so, a panel like this can't solve everything, but I feel like it's great that we're having these conversations at conferences like this. I feel like the questions that were asked in the room and the discussions that we had were really helped people think about, well, what are we doing right now? What do we need to be doing? What do we push ourselves to do more of? And definitely some really interesting conversations about how do we create an environment where everyone, regardless of anything, of gender or background or anything like that, is able to succeed as the person who they are, and they aren't forced to conform to one way of being a success, which I think we can all agree is a good idea. One thing I really wanted to point out, I really appreciated Mark Glassov's content that he added to this discussion. All the panelists were great, but he in particular seemed to really understand the fine details of some of the issues at play here, and I really appreciate his contributions a lot. So after that, I had actually my own session. I did a talk today called I Know It's Ugly, But I Can't Tell You Why, Fixing Common Design Problems. And as I'm going to be honest, is always the case at Learning Solutions, I feel like the audience was amazing and supportive and asked fantastic questions and was just kind of a joy to be in the room with. So if you were in my session, thank you so much for being so amazing. I think we had a really fun time. We had some really amusing questions, and I did this little thing at the beginning where I asked people to talk about some of their design horror stories, the worst designs they'd ever seen, and we had some good ones. So as you might have guessed, if you've ever seen me present before, I always make a resource website for people who have gone to my session or couldn't make it to the session. And it's got my slide deck, a whole bunch of notes, and then a bunch of links to additional resources. So whether you were able to come to my session or not, it's something that's definitely worth checking out if you need to know more about design. I'll put a link down below. And also, the Guild ended up videotaping the session, so if you were attending the conference, you should have access to that video in the next week or two, I suspect. So after the session was another one that was really important to me, because it was one of my coworkers speaking. This was Andrew Vecchiarelli talking about the second screen experience, designing a paperless classroom. And Andrew is someone whose work I really think is fantastic, and the work that he's done with designing a paperless classroom at the Bank of Montreal is fantastic. So a second screen experience, if you're wondering anything about that, it's essentially what happens when you have a primary thing that you're watching, so a facilitator, but it could be a movie, TV show, a video game, and then you're now incorporating a second screen into that to enhance it. So that could be, your phone when you're looking up, well, who is that actor that I'm seeing on the screen right now? I know I recognize him from somewhere. Or it could be what Andrew's done, which is creating a complimentary ebook that goes with the in-class experience that he's helped to create with the leadership team at the bank that he and I work at. And if you are interested in interactive ebooks and creating them in a really cost-effective way, find Andrew on Twitter or track him down here at the conference. He has a lot of great insights about that. And he also designed just a delightful interactive experience that, doesn't get in the way of the content, but add that little bit of interactivity that kind of spices up the workbook quite a lot. So it's beautiful. Get him to show you a sample if you haven't seen it already. And the last session that I went to today was called Interactive Video for Training Secrets of Success by Cass Sapir and Ty Marbut. So essentially an interactive video is just what it sounds like. So a video with some form of interactivity built into the video itself. So this can be quiz questions, it can be chapter jumps, it can be links, external links, links to other videos. These are simple things with this little bit of interactivity used appropriately can kind of amp up your content and really help people navigate through or to get more out of the experience or tell you more about what they're getting. One thing that I learned from the session, I can't believe I didn't know this because I watch 8 million YouTube videos, but apparently it's really easy to do those YouTube in-video annotations and links that you always see at the end of people's videos. The click here to subscribe, blah, 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 blah. I am now aping the presenter because he did that same voice. Well, I didn't realize that it's actually really, really easy to do within YouTube itself. I always sort of assumed people were doing that with like some sort of video editing software. Apparently not. So I am totally going to learn how to do that so I can start using it for these videos. So that was my day today. Obviously, really exciting day. I'm about to drag my sorry carcass to bed so I can be all ready to go for tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be a super packed day. And I'm going to be doing this whole video series the whole week, well, the whole few days. And, I'm going to let you guys know what's pretty cool here at the conference. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you tomorrow.